Stop trying to prove yourself to others. So, how many of y'all spend a lot of your day trying to prove yourself? Trying to prove that you're competent, trying to prove that you know how to do something, trying to prove that you're a good person, that you're a good friend, constantly trying to prove yourself to others. Now, think about why you're doing that. Why do you feel this need to constantly prove yourself? Do you not value yourself? Do you feel less than? Because that's what it tells me when you're constantly trying to prove yourself, that your self-esteem isn't as high as it could be. Your confidence in your abilities aren't very high. And you strive for perfection. You work extra hard. You go out of your way to do things just to prove to others your own worth. One of the things that I tell my kids when they ask me little questions that they don't think I know the answer to, and I tell them I know the answer, and they say, well, tell me what it is, and I always tell them, I don't have to prove myself to you. And then they'll try to say things like, well, that's because you don't know. That's why you won't tell me what the answer is, because you don't know. And I'll laugh at that. And it's like, I'm not a child. I do not have to prove myself to you. I know that I know, and that's good enough. And so I want for you to also have that strong belief in yourself. Being able to know that you're good enough, being able to know that you can do the job, being able to know that you're worthy of things, that you don't have to prove yourself to anybody. It takes time to kind of get to that point, but it's so important that you do. Because when you're constantly trying to prove yourself, what happens is it overloads you. You start to feel overwhelmed. And when you feel overwhelmed, what happens? Those anxiety levels go up. And what happens when your anxiety levels go up? Well, everybody's different. Some people shut down. Some people get very restless. Some people have racing thoughts and they become super negative. But we don't want our anxiety levels to go up in inappropriate ways. And so we have to do whatever we can to make sure that we don't become overwhelmed. So I want you to practice saying something to yourself. I want you to say, either every morning when you get up, every day at lunchtime, whatever time that you need the most, sit down and say to yourself, I don't have to prove myself to anyone. I am worthy. I do not have to prove myself to anyone. I am worthy. And so get in the habit of starting to believe that. Do what you do at work. Do what you do in your friendships. Do what you do in your everyday life. And who you are and your worth will be shown to people without you ever having to actually try. Why? Because you are worthy and you don't have to prove it to anyone.